In 1625, at the outbreak of war with Spain, King Charles became King of Ireland, Scotland, and England, and was quick to anger the English Parliament. Within just a year, he'd already dissolved one parliament and married a Catholic, and this worried the Protestant nation. He dismissed another parliament in 1626 when they tried to impeach the Duke of Buckingham for supporting the French and suppressing the Protestant Huguenots, and dismissed the third parliament in 1628. Charles then ruled without parliament for over a decade, that is until in 1638, Tells demanded that the Anglican Book of Common Prayer was to be used in Scotland. This caused the outbreak of the Bishops' War. Scottish troops moved across the border into Northumberland. Now Charles needed money, then recalled Parliament in 1640, but it only lasted 3 weeks because Parliament demanded the withdrawal of money and a tax on the towns to maintain the English navy, but the Scots occupied land as far south as Durham, so Charles was forced to call Parliament again, the Long Parliament. This time the king had to accept the demands, including the Treadmill Act, which forbid the king from dissolving Parliament without their consent. Peace was soon made with Scotland, but in 1641 the Irish also rebelled, and this nationalist and religious uprising soon turned into war. Meanwhile, Parliament was led by John Pym, who sent a list of grievances against the king and the Grand Remonstrance. However, the Grand Remonstrance divided Parliament as many soldiers to Puritan populists. Charles rejected the grievances. In early 1642, marched soldiers into the houses of influential and peaceful parliamentarians, hoping to arrest them, but they had fled. Charles had now lost control over Parliament and over the city of London. He fled the capital, and the population soon began to divide. The Royalists gained the support of the Catholics and the populist Puritans and the nobility. From the north and west, the parliamentarians got support from the middle-class merchants and Scots Protestants. In August 1642, after small skirmishes and failed peace talks, the king officially starts the war in Nottingham. The parliamentarians campaigned and were able to stop the Royalists for now. However, the Royalists made a large gain of land in the west thanks to the Welsh and Cornish allies in 1643. The king made peace with the Irish and brought his troops to help in England, but at the same time, Parliament signed the Solemn League in common with the Scots. They promised to reform the Church of England in line with the Scottish Protestantism in exchange for military assistance. The Scots moved into the north of England and laid siege to York. In 1644, the Royalists tried to leave the city, but their army was devastated at the Battle of Marston Moor. This battle also helped the parliamentarian Isaiah Cromwell rise to prominence and put the North in Parliament's control. Then in 1645, the parliamentarians created a new model army, mainly led by Puritans. This new army crippled the Royalists at the Battle of Naseby and took control over southwest England. At this time, King Charles was in Oxford at his headquarters, but escaped in disguise and surrendered to the Scots in 1646. Charles was soon handed over to the English, and he was imprisoned for most of 1647. However, those fighting amongst the parliamentarians, the army seized the king and retook London after Presbyterians' protests against the army in the city. Parliament then engaged in the put me debates concerning new constitution in this chaos. Charles escaped to the Isle of Wight. From there, he made a deal with the Scots, who were worried about the events in England. There's soon to be a second war, but only to last a year due to the new model army of the parliamentarians. King Charles was put in the trial for treason to not be put into power again, and was found guilty and was beheaded. Years later, Isaiah Cromwell, who was the leader of the new government, was demoted from leader, and changes happened that made England what it is today.